When my grandmother got back to New York and we started to live together, and she had this weird kind of habit of telling me things about the world that weren't necessarily true. One of the things she told me, for example, is when I was younger, like when she just came back, she started to tell me how, we used to go down to the subway, and or when we were walking in the street, and through the holes in the ground I could like feel or hear or smell the trains going and uptown, downtown. It kind of, I remember, she told me that these trains are not really trains, they're actually electric snakes, and that I need to be careful from them because they're quite dangerous. And she said like the ground under the city is full of them, of these electric snakes going all over town. So that was one thing, one myth she got into my head pretty, really young. After that, she tried to convince me, quite successful by the way, that there is a fifth season in the world. She called it season transparent. It was the fifth season, like spring, winter, summer, autumn, and then there is the transparent. And every time I ask her, "Whoa, when is the transparent?" She will say like somewhere between, between winter and spring. And then when it came, I was, wait, how do you know? What is the signs of the transparent? And she will always talk about winds and how strong and different they are from the winds in the winter. Then she told me, she started to convince me also. Basically, one day she took me aside. She told me when I was taking a shower, and she went in and she like looked at me and said, when you born, you had a tail. I said, what do you mean I had a tail? She said, can you touch, just like put your finger just like beneath your asshole, and there is a bump there. It's like some kind of a bone, and this is where used to be your tail. And I said, well, not everybody has that bone. And she said like, yes, but yours is different. And she said that she has a picture of me as a baby with a tail just before they cut it in the hospital. But she will never show me that picture because she doesn't want me to be afraid or feel like a freak, basically. So that was another story. And another story, the next story she told me, she was talking about, she one day came back from the market with a huge watermelon, and she put it on the refrigerator. And she said, you see this? This is what your father turned to be after the accident. And I didn't know what does she mean? And she said, like, you see, this watermelon, this is your father. And I remember I believed it. I was young, and I looked at the watermelon, and I thought, this is my father. And part of me was happy also that my father came back home. Didn't care that he was a watermelon so much. I was staring at this watermelon from bed, or when we were eating, we'll be concentrating on the watermelon. And then she decided, she needed to eat it. She took a knife and she cut the watermelon, and I cried. I cried so much. I cried so much. But then she just wanted me to shut up, so she brought in another watermelon from the market the next day and told me, this is also your father. Yeah, this is the kind of woman she was, basically. She was a strange woman, but I loved her.